as always, Ted, kick us off. Who do you have as your winner of the weekend?
Well, I thought about going with Kyler Murray in that Sports Illustrated interview. I asked him if he was a Dallas Cowboys fan. He
Growing up,
said, blank no. They were always asked. That I think that is the funniest thing of all time. It's the ultimate troll of Cowboys fans. It's the greatest.
I saw him say that, and my initial reaction, no bullshit, my initial reaction was, did Teddy Lehman pay him to say that?
I loved it. I absolutely loved it. That was fantastic. Kyler, you're my guy, man. You are my guy. But I had to settle on it. College football playoff, 12 teams. Let's go. Hey, is it perfect? Is this the system that they put out there perfect? Is this what it's going to end up being? I'm not sure. There may be some tweaks to it, but expanding to 12, I think ultimately is a great thing for college football. The 14 playoff has been good. I think there's been some unintended consequences of just four teams getting in, like the same teams year after year, and really reaping all the benefits from that and separating. So the fact that it looks like expansion is inevitable and it looks like it may come pretty quick, 2023 perhaps, I think that's a good thing for college football.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think that it comes down to growing college football, right? And I thought Bob Bowlesby said something that was so funny to me. It was something to the effect of, yeah, we really didn't anticipate how hard it would be for us that didn't make the college football playoff that year. And it's like, really? You didn't think that was going to suck? Like, it was one of those things, but it's about growing the game and keeping more fans intrigued for more of the season. And I will never, Teddy, I want you to slap me. If I ever start complaining about more good college football games, if I ever start complaining about more good games in any sport, just slap me.
Okay. I'm going to jot
Not
that
too
down.
hard. Like a
Slap
gentle.
Gabe.
Did you ever watch How I Met Your Mother?
No,
Okay, good. Never mind. Don't look up what I'm talking about then.
I wrote this down, and I'm always looking for a reason to slap somebody. So it may hit you when you least expect it. Like I will don't let anything slip. I might pow whenever we're out at a pregame meal or something.
For
Okay,
any
so
How I Met Your Mother fans out there, it's gonna be just like Slapsgiving. Not good. Not good.
here's one more note on the college football playoff. This is amazing to me. So the first playoff national championship against it was, what was it, Florida State, or is Oregon, Ohio State, right?
Yeah.
It had 36 million viewers. Last year, Alabama, Ohio State, you can't get any bigger than those two teams, 18 million. The
Damn.
viewership has gone down by half. So this isn't about being fair and wanting more people to be able to play. It's that they've got a viewership problem with the same teams making it every year. Like that's what they see. There is definitely a viewer problem there. So I thought that number was shocking. But whenever you see it, it lets you know that the 14 playoff had gone bad and people were tuning it out. So they needed something to reignite the fire. Again, I don't think this system is perfect. I would prefer the first two rounds to be played on site, not in bowls. I think
Uh,
playing two bowl games is dumb.
I I think making fans travel 3 times is would be really, really unfortunate. I do. But I have always felt that college football is best when it's played on a campus. I would
Yep.
I would love for the 12 team playoff. I'd love for only the national championship game to be a neutral site game.
Yeah,
Honestly, I would love that. Now that'll never happen,
because
right?
of the bowl system. Yeah.
But do you think they can just get away with, I don't know, could it just be the semis and the finals?
Yeah.
I I think that's how it should be, but you know how bowl cronyism works. Like I
I
don't know
do.
if they'll be able to rid themselves of those relationships. I don't know.
I mean, maybe they're not going to be able to, but I'll tell you right now, if I'm in charge of the college football playoff and I'm the head of the committee and I'm sitting in the room and the people in the bowl are over there saying, well, we want to be a part of the playoff. We want our bowl in. I'm sitting here thinking, we don't need you guys at all.
No.
We don't
I
need
don't
any of you for any of it at all, period. So you don't like your voice in the matter is like this big to me. I don't even care about it. Now, I would like to see all those bowls continue to happen. I would, but I think it should only be the semifinal just like it is now. That's going to be hard to do. I get that. But I think ultimately, Gabe, when they see what a home playoff game is, if Notre Dame has to travel to Oklahoma to play in a playoff game, or if Oklahoma has to go to Florida in Gainesville, or that is going to be the most a winner take all, winner you're done atmosphere. You didn't even know you were going to be playing the week before. It is going to be the craziest show college football has ever seen. It's going to be unbelievable. And the teams that get the bye that don't get to host a game are going to say, we want that on our campus. That's
yeah.
my opinion.
Yeah, I
I think
think
that after they see what it's like in that first round, they'll want to do the second round too, but I could be wrong.
no. I think you're definitely right. And just hearing you paint that picture, it is going to be, and why can't it happen next year? Why can't it happen next year?
I hate
Why does
college
it take
football.
two
Oh my
years?
god. I don't know. I don't know. That's the most frustrating thing about college football is they are so slow. Even after they showed us that they don't have to be. Whenever they put together a road game in 72 hours with BYU and Coastal Carolina, things don't have to move at a snail's pace. Just do it. Uh, you know, I'm so used to them doing everything 10 years out that 2023 seems like tomorrow to me. So I was actually kind of happy about that.
You're like, oh, that's actually pretty soon.
That's decent.
Nice.
That's decent.
All right,
So
who do you have as your loser of the weekend?
I've got to go with what I think is going to be the NBA. Now, I know that there was a lot of people like me rooting against the Los Angeles Lakers and thought it was hilarious that they took that first round exit. But here's what we're looking at. Um, you could have, I don't know, the Hawks or the Sixers, maybe the Bucks, even if it's the Nets against maybe the Suns or the Jazz in the finals. I got to tell you, the NBA from Golden State taking on Cleveland's LeBron James, and where it is absolute cannot miss. You either you love the Golden State Warriors or you hate them. You love LeBron or you hate him. That was cannot miss NBA Finals, and what we've got left right now, it could end up being, and I don't know what the combination is going to be. I think everyone still has some type of chance of making it.
I'll tell
It
you
could be a
right.
worst case scenario for the NBA.
Jokic just got ejected in Game 4,
Okay, well, so we'll see the Suns there.
so I think that's gonna. There's still 8 minutes and some change left in that game, but I think the Suns are gonna sweep the old Nuggets there without the MVP on the court. But no, I'm with you. A lot of people like to say that they love when there's parity. And people talk about it in college football, talk about it in the NFL, talk about how they want it in the NBA. And then you get to this point, right, where you've got some parity, where it feels like anyone can win it. and people just start bitching because
Yeah.
they're like, wait, this sucks.
Yeah.
I am a fan of it because I'm a Thunder fan. So I knew the Thunder weren't going to be a factor this year. So I am just enjoying the basketball because it's great basketball. I don't care who wins, but yeah, LeBron James not being in the playoffs still, that takes away from the playoffs. I mean, it does. Steph Curry not being in the playoffs, that takes away. Like, the league has become a league that is focused on stars, and some of the biggest stars in the game aren't in the playoffs right now. And people are, it seems like they're just realizing, oh, this kind of sucks.
Well, the NBA has created a weird um there's a weird dynamic with so many guys moving these days. There's more fans of individual players
Right.
than there are of franchises. And that's really not the way it is in football. College football and NFL football, you're a Cowboys fan, or or whoever your team is. So I think parity in those teams is looked at differently than it is in the NBA right now, that it's a superstar driven league. And if you got parity and someone gets in and there's no superstars, that your TV ratings, like, I still think it's cool, and I think it's going to be great to see some new blood in there. But methinks it's not going to be, it's not going to show up in the TV ratings that way.
You're not pumped for the Bucks Suns finals?
No.
Oh,
Well, yeah, yes, sure, yeah, I'm pumped for that. Okay, I'm pumped for that.
how many free throws do you want to see Giannis miss?
All of them,
Okay, good. Nice.
and I and this will be another really cool opportunity to see someone who was just with the Thunder win a championship somewhere else. It's amazing how often that happens.
Never happens. What are you talking about? No, but I'm enjoying the NBA playoffs, but I definitely know what you're saying. I think, just like you're saying, I think for a lot of people it lacks sizzle. It just does. There's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with that, but yeah, when the TV ratings come out for the finals now, depending on, and there's still a lot of basketball to be played, but depending on how things shake out, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there's some reports like, "Oh my gosh, did you see the horrible ratings for the NBA finals?" I
Well,
won't be shocked.
I think the at least game one and game two of the Women's College World Series was beating a lot of the NBA playoff numbers. So that's kind of where they're at right now.
Yeah. Okay, my winner of the weekend, thought about going with Baker Mayfield, right? Got to show off the swing a little bit at Jarvis Landry's charity softball game. He won the home run derby, or co-won. I don't know how there wasn't some sort of tiebreaker, but most importantly, he was almost my winner because of what Jarvis Landry was saying about Odell Beckham Jr. I guess they all worked out in Austin together, something that Baker put together, and Jarvis Landry was saying that OBJ was out there doing his normal thing, right? Running, cutting, jumping off one leg, one hand in it, said he looked amazing already. And I don't even think he's 7 months out from surgery. So that's
That's
got to be
crazy.
very exciting for Baker, Ted.
It is full complements of weapons. I feel like they've drafted really well. Gosh, I feel like they've drafted well going back quite some time now. That team is absolutely loaded with talent. They don't have really any excuses left. They've got plenty of talent defensively. They've got plenty of players offensively. They've bolstered that offensive line. If he gets all of his guys back, they're healthy, they could make a serious, serious run next year.
Yeah. And they've got high expectations. So we'll see. But I also thought about going with the Milwaukee Bucks. They even up the series at 2 games apiece with the Brooklyn Nets. But I, I want to give the Bucks credit, Ted. I do, but I just don't know how much credit to give them. James Harden is hurt, and now Kyrie Irving rolled the absolute shit out of his ankle and never came back.
Oof.
And the Nets
What
weren't the
about
same.
Blake Griffin? He never came back in like after what, midway through the third, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, everyone for the Nets is hurt. And I know some people say injuries are part of the game, and that is true. But I'm not just blown away by Milwaukee because they have even the series against the Nets teams that was just all hurt. I mean, what are they? They better wrap Durant in bubble wrap tonight.
I know. That's pretty crazy that they've been hit like that. I don't know what the status is moving forward. Maybe they didn't bring Blake Griffin back in because they saw the game had already slipped away and just didn't want to. After Kyrie got hurt, it's like, hey, let's not throw anyone else out there. But I don't know what his status is going to be. But you're right. I mean, that ankle was like his foot was upside down. He rolled it so hard. So
Never good when the outside ankle bone bounces off the court.
oh, just brutal, man. Just brutal. Those guys, you just land on a foot, man. You never know. You've done everything right. You've taken care of your body. You land on someone's foot, grabbing a rebound, and it's over. I've done that before, and it was terrible.
Yeah.
So
And it was
yeah,
Giannis's foot. That's a big foot.
yeah, yeah. His foot goes all the way across the lane. It's hard to miss.
Yeah. Giannis had 34, played pretty well. Still not impressed. Nets are hurt. I I didn't think I'd feel this way, but like I'm upset that they're so banged up. I wanted
I
to watch
know.
it. Like we've talked about how much fun it is to watch them play, and now they're all hurt and I don't get to see it.
Oh, I don't know. A week or so ago, before Harden's hamstring, I declared the NBA playoffs a farce, that the Nets were just going to cruise through and destroy everyone.
Remember
Here
when
we
they
are.
were up 2-0 on the Bucks and everyone was like, the Bucks suck. They got to blow it up. They got to do something different. Like that was only a couple days ago. Now it's 2-2 and Kyrie's out. I don't know. And that, man, that looked bad. Oh, that looked so painful. But okay, my winner of the weekend, we haven't gotten to talk about it, Ted. The Oklahoma Sooners softball team, my winner of the weekend. They are the 2021 softball national champions. They beat Florida State 5-1 in what I would describe as a game that lacked drama.
Yeah.
And I got to be there in person, got to sit next to Patty Gasso's husband the entire game. It was
Nice.
sat next to all those alumni, several of the girls that played softball when I was in college. It was rowdy and it was fun. Jocelyn Allo got the party started there with the bomb in the first, and then Jada Coleman, man, that's a talented freshman. She goes yard and then drives in 2 more runs, and what was nearly another homer but this game will probably be remembered as the G Juarez game, right?
Mhm.
First time in her career that she went complete games on back-to-back days. It was, and the crazy thing, I was talking to some of the players about it, and Patty Gasso benched her leading up to the Women's College World Series.
Yep.
I mean, benched her, told her, hey, you got to figure it out. We need you to be you. Let her take some time for herself. And man, did she respond, Ted, because she goes 5-0 in the Women's College World Series and throws an absolute gem in game 3 where, let's be real, Florida State only scores a run because of the damn sun,
That's
right?
right. So, it was so weird. They scored that a hit and an earned run, which was so weird to me. I thought she should have just had one hit. The first batter of the day ripped a double to right center, and after that, she was absolute nails. Um, and here's another thing that I thought was interesting. She's usually pretty reserved, pretty out there in the circle. She's kind of a laid back personality, I would say. Understated, but those last 2 games, game 2 and game 3, she had some fire behind her, and she had her best stuff going out there. She was amazing. She was fantastic to watch. It was awesome.
Yeah, for a player that didn't have a great season, especially by her standards, right? And had trouble coming back off that biceps tendon surgery. And man, that is one of the more clutch performances that I can remember in OU history. I mean, she was spectacular. And as a result, Patty Gasso gets her 5th title as a head coach there in Norman. And maybe that whole situation with G. Juarez speaks to the brilliance of Patty Gasso. And it's a good reminder that coaches know their teams and their players
Yep.
better than other people. For her to do that with G. Juarez and for G. Juarez to respond like that, that's the highest level of coaching, right?
Yeah.
Knowing your players that intimately, knowing that she would respond in the way she did, or just challenge her in general, knowing you can challenge her that way. That, I mean, she's arguably the greatest ever at
Yep.
this. And I heard that story from a couple different people. I was like, wow, that speaks to just how great she is as a coach.
Well, it's amazing to know the team that well and to know the player that well, and to be able that late in the game to go to that type of move to motivate someone. But on the other hand, it also shows how talented this team is that she would do that when she did it, and be like,
Right.
we are good enough offensively and defensively that I can make some moves at pitcher, and I still think we're going to be okay. Right now, we need these our best girls down the stretch, but right now I can go into my bag of tricks to start getting some of their best play out.
Yeah. Hey, we're going to win this with you or without you, but I think we want you. I think we're going to need you. So figure it out. But so that team, they set a ridiculous amount of NCAA records this season. But maybe the most impressive thing is how they responded after losing that first game in the Women's College World Series to JMU. They take the long route and win the national championship. And they had their national championship celebration there in Norman on Saturday night. And one thing was made very, very, very clear, Ted, and that is the fact that Patty Gasso wants a new stadium. She wants it. And I know it's a lot of money, but I got a feeling that thing's getting done after what we just watched.
Yeah, yeah, that was awesome. She deserves it. They deserve it. It's awesome to watch, man. Proud of them. Proud of what that program has become. Proud of what college softball has become. And Oklahoma's showing that. Yeah, there was a time whenever whoever had the best pitcher won it. And the pitcher would go out there and just rip it all day long. No one could hit him, and off you go. Oklahoma has changed that. They are a team that is so good offensively and so good defensively. They've got a bunch of different ways that they can beat you. They can beat you with great pitching, as we saw with G. Juarez. They can beat you with great offense whenever you have an unbelievable pitcher. You look at the group of pitchers they went through in the tournament. It's amazing, and they put up runs all along the way. They're just fantastic. I hope they do get that new stadium. If I had the money, I'd build it myself.
Patty's Palace coming soon. No doubt about
Love
it.
it.
Okay, for my loser of the weekend, thought about going with European soccer because they're playing the Euro 2020 right now. It's 2021, guys. I know you didn't want to reprint the signs and the t-shirts. Like, I get it. But guys, what are we doing? Still calling it Euro 2020. It confuses me every time. I'm sick of it. But also, dude, that guy from Denmark
Yeah.
in their game against Finland, that was so damn scary. I mean, Christian Eriksen, if you haven't seen it, I don't recommend watching it. I just happened to be watching the game, and I mean, the guy had a heart attack during the game on
Yeah.
the field. And they brought him back to life, Teddy.
It's
And
crazy.
it was crazy.
Yeah. Defibrillator, they go out there, they bring him back. the head trainer for them said that he was dead out there on the field, and they resuscitated him. Um, it's I'm not going to say that this is common, but guys collapsing and uh, dying of heart failure, heart attack issues in soccer is something that happens way more than you would expect. Through all different levels. I guess it's just because it's such a cardiovascular game. I don't exposes heart issues. Maybe I don't know, but you could tell that they were prepared for something like that to happen. They acted quickly. Had the defibrillator out there. That's why it's incredibly important. Anytime you're around anything that has to do with physical activity, you've got to have one of those. And saved a life. That was awesome.
Yeah. It was so scary. I was like, what in the world? And for them to finish the game, that also I know
Yeah, that was weird.
some people were giving him a hard time for it, but it sounds like the players, they asked him if they wanted to play, and they said, yeah, sure, he'd want us to play. And I guess they talked to him. I don't know, but oh boy, you watch your teammate die and get brought back to life on the field, and then you go out there and play.
I was at a Detroit Red Wings game one time, and I can't remember who they were playing, but um, in the middle of the game, second period or something, normal game action, and then all the Red Wing players from their bench, like they jump out and they're like scattering across the ice. They're flying all over the place. Someone like goes and grabs like a defibrillator, but I didn't know what they were doing at all. You couldn't tell. It just looked like mass chaos. Someone like came off the ice and collapsed into the bench and had a heart attack, heart failure, and they saved him right there. I can't remember who it was. It's been so long ago, but the game was over, canceled, done right there. It was crazy. Yeah.
That's intense.
Yeah, very.
If there was anyone that I think would keep playing after that, it's hockey guys. Those dudes are insane.
Yeah, yes, they are. But it was weird, and they just came on and said the game's canceled. So it was nuts.
Like, all right then. Okay. I also thought about going with Leon Edwards, right? Because he wins the fight against Nate Diaz, but it somehow feels like he lost, and Diaz probably should have knocked him out. It had him, and instead of finishing him off, he just started pointing at him and taunting him. It was so weird, but it was very Nate Diaz. But that's got to be tough for Leon Edwards, because he did win the fight, but all anyone is talking about coming out of that thing is Nate Diaz. That's it. No one is talking about him actually winning.
I'm pretty confident in saying if you fight Nate Diaz, you do not win. I don't care what the scorecard says. I don't care whose hand they raise after it. You never win, because he's going to stand there in the middle of the ring with you and just throw. You may somehow be declared winner, but it's going to take its toll.
Nate Diaz is the people's champion. There's no doubt. But my loser of the weekend, Texas football. Arch Manning was in Austin for an unofficial visit and participated in Texas's elite camp this weekend. And that's a big deal for Texas, right? That kid is obviously Eli and Peyton's nephew. He's the number one quarterback in the class of 2023. There really shouldn't be anything negative that could come of it, right? Well, wrong. There was even a clip of him like throwing a 70-yard bomb during the camp that was going around. I was like, oh my gosh, like this kid can really rip it. But in true Texas fashion, Texas had him take some pictures in front of a bunch of trophies, and the internet, Ted, is undefeated. A lot of people were quick to point out that none of those trophies were from football. That it just ended up in people roasting Texas in this entire ordeal. And some of the best stuff I saw where people were saying that the football team was stealing valor from the swimming and diving team by using their trophies in their pictures. I could not stop laughing, dude.
Oh, I
Stolen
love it.
valor from the swimmers and divers from
I
Texas
love it.
football.
Who would have thought Arch Manning was going to go to a diving school? But here we are. Wow. That's great. Which I'll tell you one thing, though. It's almost a little frustrating. And, hey, I totally trust Lincoln Riley. But Arch Manning is going everywhere except for Oklahoma.
Yeah, what? Clemson, Texas, Bama. I saw
Ohio State,
Ohio State. Yeah. What's
Notre
the deal
Dame.
there?
I don't know. Everyone, USC, Stanford, all of the big schools, no Oklahoma. My guess is that Oklahoma's already got the 23. Um, they've made their pick with Malachi Nelson, I guess.
Pick their guy.
It still seems interesting, strange. I don't know that Oklahoma's not on that list anywhere.
No. Well,
we'll
hopefully he doesn't go to Texas, because I'm not going to lie. Some of these clips. Did you see the ball flip thing he did at the Clemson camp?
Yeah, the
the kid's got it. When the kid's doing that subconsciously, he's got it. So let's Arch, take your happy ass to Bama or Ohio State.
He looks good. I'll tell you though, and I'm not saying that if you can get a player like that, you do it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But there's going to be a clown show wherever he goes, like following him around. You know what I'm saying? Like whenever he comes on campus, you're bringing a whole lot of, attention, media attention, negative attention, positive attention. If you don't win it all, it's your fault, because how could you not with Arch Manning? It seems like there's going to be a massive distraction wherever he goes. But he looks like he's going to be legit.
Yeah, I just looked it up real quick. Malachi Nelson committed to Oklahoma. He is the number 2 quarterback in the 2023 class, behind Arch Manning. So
he's supposed to make his final whatever in July, I think, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. I don't know. It just says it's got the OU symbol with 100% next to it. I'm looking at the 24/7 Sports composite. So
yeah,
I took that to mean he's going to OU. So we'll see. But yeah, hey Arch, don't go to Texas. Don't do it, please.
Hey, I don't think. Well, maybe it does change things, but I'd like to see the profile of that game grow. I'm not scared of.
Yeah,
him
you're
going
right. Go to Texas. Let's see. Let's get weird.
Yeah,
let's get weird. We need Texas to be better.
God, can you imagine the SEC Manning family having to talk up the Big 12? Wow, how about that?
That'd be good for the conference.
Yep.
I'm all for it.